and I got 3 cards. I used the Golden Art Nouveau Major Arcana deck to find out where I was. And so when you are using this oracle, you are the Fool card. You mix and match the cards up, and then you take what card goes before and what card goes after. Mine landed this way. And so it shows that where I am at right now is in a place where I've lost faith. I've lost faith. I have lost faith. That is where I am. Or because when you are in the Fool, you're in this place of innocence. You are stepping off this ledge and stepping off into a brand new journey. And you go through the stages between the magician and the world. And this oracle is good. I've been using this oracle anyway as a means to judge where a person is at in this journey at any given point of time. And so where I'm at right now, I'm here. Maybe I haven't stepped off into the ledge, or I've stepped off the ledge and I am lacking light. I am lacking illumination. I am lacking trust. I am lacking faith. And then the card that came up before that was the Moon card. And it was in an upright form. And when you take the 18, you add the 18 up numerically, it comes up to the number 9. So it's at the end of a cycle. You're at the 9 place. And so with this, the moon illuminates all the crap in your subconscious, these deep subconscious programs that exist there, the wildness of the wolf and the tameness of the domestic dog. So you have these two dichotomies going on there. You have the wolf, the instinct, and you have this domestication and this push and pull balance in between those two spears and those two poles. And coming up from the deep are all your programs, the negative programs that are hard to see, that come up in the night. Some of these things that come up are anxieties in the night. And so what was welcome, Chloe, welcome. And so what preceded this, of course, I was asking the question, there was some things I was thinking about, a past love, someone who may have been a twin flame, someone who I proposed to when I was, 26 years of age? So 32 years ago, this month, and it might have been like 32 years ago this week. I will be taking some questions, but I am going to finish this question first. I'll be taking a few questions. And so 32 years ago, I proposed to a woman who I had a deep soul connection to. I proposed to her in Israel, around on the Sea of Galilee. I had a profound spiritual experience, and I am going through these cards, and I'll be right, and it'll just be a moment. So just hang on, and I will get to your questions. Why don't I write your question down, Richard, and then reentry welcome. I will write your question down, and we will get to you right afterwards. So, Richard, you will be the next person here. And what is your question, Richard? Okay, when you formulate your question, I'll come to it. And so I I no longer have romantic feelings for this. It's a general reading, okay? And you have a general reading. All right. General reading. I no longer have romantic feelings for her, but I still do on occasions look in on her life on Facebook. She married a guy who I was a drinking buddy with in college. We all went to the same college. This trip I went to Israel was with the college my alma mater. At that time, I had graduated. It was a class in Israel to go over Old Testament sites. The class was Old Testament. I wasn't taking the class. I went along for the ride, like the professor's wife. I paid extra amount just to go. But anyway, there are all these old programs and things that I have going on. But what came up next here, all right, was the death card. So what I'm sitting at, and so of course, whenever time you do see the death card, it is alarming. It is an alarming thing. I don't like pulling the death card on myself, but I pulled the death card. And so have seen this is a sense of these old programmings, because that was that girl was in my mind all day yesterday before I was thinking about that. I was thinking about, because one of the things that came up in when she broke up with me several months later was that I was always talking about spiritual things, and she, of course, got bored with it, and she didn't think that I would have that was the only thing we were talking about. But here it is. It's 32 years later, and I'm still just as passionate about spiritual things as I was then. So, but that's not. I don't think that those are the things that I need to get rid of in my life. There are some other things that I need to get rid of. I still don't know what they are. But then I drew some other cards. Another card that came up is this one. This is the Our Lady of Resurrection. What happens next is a resurrection. And there's 5 numbers in here. That means that some change is going to occur in my life. A challenge, a change. And I will be resurrected into a new life with wisdom. Now, then I drew these cards. Now, these are very curious because it also kind of is pertaining to a deep Cupid challenge, twin flame, because I was thinking about her, and I had an intense opposite attracting relationship with that woman. But I don't have anybody romantically in my life. And nor do I want anybody romantically in my life at this particular time. I do not have the emotional energy for somebody romantic in my life. Though I do know a person out there who likes me that way. And if that person would be listening right now, I'm sorry, but that's what it is. I do not have the emotional space or energy for a romantic relationship, largely because I am working as a caregiver for my mother. I have a lot of energy going there. I don't have that energy. And then that's one of the things, but I'm also just working on the development of myself, my YouTube channels, my spiritual life, and reconnecting with deep things that mean something to me. The knowledge of like books and reading books and advancing my career forward. And I don't really have the space, and this is just me, but then these cards, I don't understand what this stuff means. Richard, I probably I do, but I don't. I do have that connection with that woman. I've had that connection with a few, two or three that I've had a deep. But that one from 32 years ago, I had visions of her before I met her. When I knew the first time I saw her that it was a deep relationship, and we journeyed together for a short time. And then when that broke apart, it took almost 10 years for me to be able to move on from that. And maybe I never did move on from that. And so maybe what these cards show is that I really need to move on from that. So maybe someday a romantic relationship may unfold. Maybe someday. But anyways, that's what I came up with. I don't really have an answer for that. And I'm going to go move on to your reading, Richard, to your general reading, because I've taken up enough of everybody's time here. I still do not know what these cards mean for myself. Oh, wait, we are not putting these cards away. We are starting them out. And a resurrection. And then we will go over there. And I'm going to put, if you want, like whether it changes, yeah. Yes, I do. I do have some empathic things going on. So let's go on to Richard's general reading. Today is the 19th, 119, and I have roughly 45 minutes before I need to start making dinner before I get into trouble. So, Richard, so let's do a general reading. Let's start by clearing the air. Clearing the air. We're going to start by clearing the air. This must be a good time. I probably should be doing this show every day around this time. Mother Mary, Richard has a question. Mother Mary, Richard wants to know what he needs to know right now. My feelings here, I'm going to start by pulling out a page number for you and getting you a generalized thing. We're going to start here with that. I need to stop touching the microphone. It makes microphone noises every time I do that. Do we have a troll in the room here? All right, sir. Just you can stay. Just don't harass the people in the chat, please. Divine operator, you can stay and listen, but I don't. Just be respectful, please. We're going to start by getting a page number, and we want to see what Spirit has to say for you. So this is for Richard. I want you to be with me right now, Richard. Be right here with me, and think about this little top. So the first number on here is 3. Let's go pull this up a little higher here so you can see it. Okay, be with me here. Where's the 0 point? It's kind of hard to see it, but what did it go to? It's right there. I probably should have wrote it down with the Sharpies are usually only black ink. Okay. And so this rock here came from Istanbul, from Byzantium. I'm coming here, and I'm starting at the 1. So that is 9, 3, 9. So those two added up is 12. And that was right close to the 1. Three nine two. No, it's 39. Yeah, that's right. 392. 392. So we're looking at 12, 14. It is. We're looking here at the number 5. So the number 5 is about change, making a change, being challenged, and with the promise of freedom. Change, challenge, and maybe with the promise of freedom if you complete those challenges. And freedom. So, and what comprises of this is 3 is about self-expression, 9 is about the end of a cycle. Jane, yes, I think there's one other person before you, Jane. So we have Jane. There was someone else before. I don't know if they're still here. Okay, it was Emerald and Emerald. So that'll be all we can do for today. So if Emerald is there, and Jane is there, and Richard's reading is right now. So 3 is about your creativity, your expression, and you're expressing yourself. And so you may have some issues with that. And you know, I understand, because I have understanding. I have you know, I most of the time I don't know what the hell I'm feeling. I got to think about it. So being expression, so expressing yourself. And 9, and it can be, there's a couple different things. 9 means kind of completion and coming into a place of completion, and 2, a place of balance. So if you're looking at this as that you are needing to express yourself and be more creative in your life, and then you couple that is that you move towards perfecting yourself as far as your creativity is concerned and bringing more balance in. And that leads you to this total number of 5, because 3 plus 9 is 12, 13, 14. 1 plus 4 is 5. But then if we look at the number 1 and 4, a new cycle plus a foundational thing. And so it's sort of you're combining, starting something new with you're building your foundations, because the number 5 has the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4 in it. Or the number 1 is a new cycle, starting something new. The number 2 is about balance, but it is also looking at your intuition and being more intuitive, the balancing of the yin and the yang. The number 1, the starting of something new. The 3, your creative expression, and you're expressing yourself. And the 4, your foundations, which brings you up to 5, which is coming into a place where you are going to be challenged by something and maybe even asked to make a change. And for the result of that challenge and that change is a new freedom for yourself. So let's go look at page 1 plus 4 equals 5. Yes, 1 plus 4 equals 5. let's go look at page 392. I know it's towards the beginning, so it's kind of about like the season of Advent. Oh, actually, no. We're looking at Easter. 392. 392, the liturgy of the baptism. All right. Let's see what we can find here, if there's anything that will pop out. This is the liturgy of the baptism. Baptism is about something new. It is about having an initiation into a new kind of a thing. So what I'm going to just say, that is what kind of pops out at me, is baptism. And we're going to look at that. And that's essentially on that page, we're looking at baptism. And specifically, that is in the baptism, it is a one energy. But also in this baptismal energy, a one energy, but it is, in a sense, a place of a spiritual renewal. It is a place of renewal, or and renewal and newness. And if you're going to look at it in a Gnostic Christian sort of way, because that's where we're looking at it, I'm looking at it from a point of being a Christian mystic or a Christian heretic, however you want to interpret that. But if if you were to go look up a main Orthodox Christian whatever, you're not going to find tarot or whatever I do in that vocabulary. So this is a Christian mystic, because I grew up as a Christian, and that is the viewpoint that I come out of. And so anyway, it is, and mystic is somebody who has an experiential relationship to things, to spiritual things, and spiritual things are that of the unseen world and that of the seen world. It's both of those things, because spirituality is not just about the unseen. It is also about who you know, what is in your environment. So I'm just as an explainer here. And so you have together this, you're looking at the number 6, that number 6 of balance and freedom. So we're looking at that. If 5 plus 1 is 6. And so you're in that renewal, that newness, a new beginning, and in that sense of this baptism. But also what has happened, there is a, if you were, well, anyways, baptism and a being in that it's an initiatory thing. That's kind of what, conceptually, this is an initiatory thing, being initiate. And I don't know what your spiritual life is like. Only you have that. But having that sense of something new coming into your life. But it's also a very active thing. It's active. It involves that you are, because baptism doesn't just, yes, it does if you're an infant. It happens. But if you're not an infant, baptism is something that the person being baptized is requesting. And so the agency is in the person. So the agency is in you, Richard. You have chosen in your life to make a new a sense, whatever this means for you. It's whatever it means for you. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to go in and say general reading, and what are we going to have coming out of here? I will pull a few cards for you. You was on the wrong channel. No, I said Tools of Fortune. But okay, Richard, I want you to be here with me while I shuffle. I'm going to just mix and match the cards together. And we're going to pull a few cards, and we're just going to see. Let me shuffle here. And see if we can get just an idea of what we got here. Oh, okay. So your grandfather baptized you. Okay. So why don't when we're in here using this term, we're kind of using it a little bit looser than that. I'm not saying that you are literally going to be baptized, but it is in a sense of what does that word mean. So we're going to be you're asking what does this stuff mean? And in order to unlock this, Richard, you got to ask yourself, what does this mean? What does this concept mean? What does baptism mean conceptually? What does it mean to your life? How do you apply it to your life in a non-religious sort of way? Does that make any sense? So I'm going to shuffle the cards, and I want you to tell me when to stop shuffling. I'm going to pull full 4 cards, and you tell me when to stop shuffling. Okay, it stopped like this, so we're going to go with 4 cards. And we're not using a spread, we're just mixing and matching them, and we'll just kind of see what we have for a right now kind of a thing. And okay, so again, if I were to go to rearrange things here, you are in a, this is just all a right now thing. I think it kind of goes this way. We're going to be traveling from this way to this way. And so here you are at this, so where you're at in this sort of a renewal, you are in a spot of newness. So you are this Fool here. You're just about ready to step off this cliff and jump into a new thing. And you got with you, you have the equipment you need to make this journey. You've got your toolkit here. You got this white rose of purity, and then you have your loyal dog that's going to follow you right over the cliff blindly into what's coming next. And so what the cards are showing, this is maybe your challenge. You're challenged with the fact that there is an imbalance in your relationship with the 2 of Cups in the reversed form. An imbalance in your relationship. Maybe there is some codependency issues, or you are misunderstanding one another. So it's the Spirit is asking you to open your ears to listen, and listen to whatever is going on in your relationship, whether it be a romantic relationship, a friendship relationship, a family relationship, or somebody at work, somebody you just met. So in that, you need to pay extra attention to the fact that you need to spend time listening to what it is they have to say. Because otherwise, you're going into this relationships with a power imbalance, an imbalance of power. So we have that sense of this 2 over here, the need for balance, the balancing of the yin and the yang, the light and the darkness, the masculine and the feminine energies, in order to come into a place of some perfection here, this completion in this 10 of Cups over here. Also, Richard, you have this 9 of Cups. So you got a lot of Cups energy. You're looking at a lot of emotional things. And this is in a sense that your emotions are running out. Your and so your relationships feel, you're not sitting smug and happy on this chair. You're kind of unhappy. You have this sense of unhappiness going on. Maybe you're dissatisfied. You are not content. You're not fat and happy and content in this moment, and your relationships are not feeling it all. They're not serving you because you're trying to serve yourself. So, which leads us back into this relationship imbalance that is going on. So you are self-serving in whatever thing is. It's you're being too self-centered about that, and so you need to like really work on breaking that. It's challenging. Spirit is challenging you to not be self-centered in your relationships, and instead you need to listen. Because what sits at the end of that, Richard, is that if you can manage this, then you can come into a place where you're going to bring in a little bit more joy, a little bit joy of your life. And so if you look at that sense of this being the baptism of the renewal, the newness, you're jumping off into a new adventure, and where you are going to be ending up for the time being is in the sense of happiness. But that happiness comes from this sense of being initiated into a new journey, taking control of your life, agency over your own life, meeting those challenges head on, writing, the challenges in order to get this freedom here of being in a right relationship with others. I guess that's the way we can put it. A right relationship with others. Okay, that's what I got for you. I hope that makes sense, but let's do one other thing. Let's go look at one other thing. We have our up energy and our down energy. Our up energy is that of the 10, and the down energy is that of 11 or 2. So you're looking at, what we're looking at here in an up and down energy is 11, 2 down, and 10, 1 up. 10, 1 up. And so what you're looking at here in this energy scenario here, and I'm looking at 11, and it's a place of injustice. Out of balance. Imbalance. So we have this sense of this one, the power imbalance. You're not in balance. But in order to come into a place where you are in this place of happiness, it comes into correcting and trying to examine your life to see where maybe you feel like you're a victim here, and that you are like you're being cast off this cliff here, and you're tumbling head over heels like a leaf, like you have no control over your life. But this is kind of telling you that you do have that agency, you have that control. You need to see where it is that you are in control of things that are going on in your life. So these injustice, and in this place of injustice, there may be a tendency to blame others for your issues. And so Spirit is asking you to take responsibility for yourself and to rebalance the equation. So it's about justice and balance together. 11, 2, 3, and together this brings you to being able to express self. Express self is that number 3. All right? I hope that helps. It's really tight in here. Okay. Let's put this away. So I want to go to, is Emerald still there? Is Emerald still here? For entertainment purposes only? Emerald, if you're not the... Okay, all right. Did you want a general, or what was your question? Okay, a general. Okay. All right. We have a general reading. 119. Okay, I'm going to need to move a little faster here before I get into trouble. Okay. That's like the story of my life. When I run these readings late and punching up towards dinner time, it's always something like that. But let's start first by clearing the air. We're going to clear the air, clear the spirits out of the air. So Emerald, I want you to be with me now. Mother Mary, Emerald has a question. Mother Mary, help me and Emerald make a connection so that Emerald can know what it is that she needs to know right now. We're going to go here to the Celestial Insights. Let me just give it a little bit of a shuffle here. We are all working on ourselves, Richard. Just don't forget to pray or contemplate or whatever your practice is. All right, Emerald, I want you to tell me when to stop shuffling. Tell me when to stop shuffling. This is mostly an upright deck, and we will treat it as such. So when do I stop shuffling, Emerald? Okay, over or under? Over, under. Over or under? Over. Okay. All right. Huh. Twin flame come up. Let's see. Wow. So you have, by the pictures here, remember that you matter. By your pictures, You have your heart hanging like a stone from a rope, just hanging out there for everybody to see. So allure, cherish. So it's cherishing the beauty that attracts you. So Spirit want in this sense, from these insights of looking, taking the time to be with others, just to hang out, hang your heart out there with other people, a little bit of trust, a little bit of openness. Share yourself with others. That's what I kind of get here. And then we move into another spirit that's here of openness moment, being kind of like this lily, this daisy, just being open in the darkness of the world. Being open to new experiences, being open to whatever might come your way. And then maybe there may be a soulmate like issue. Do you have a soulmate, a person that you've been journeying with that is your opposite, somebody who challenges you? This may not necessarily be a romantic thing, but there may be somebody coming into your life that will challenge you. You have this opposites attract thing. Maybe it turns into a romantic thing, but maybe not. It's not really necessary. The twin flame kind of a thing is mostly about that person who is your opposite, probably somebody you can't stand to be around, who is so like you, who is opposite of you, but at the same time is just like you. And then when you spend time with that person, you probably hate them. So been with him for 10 years. Okay, so you have that thing. So you have this twin flame, this person that you've been with for 10 years. And this person is maybe sometimes you can't stand them. They're challenging you. But so what the Spirit is telling you to be more open in the moment, and cherishing those who you love in your life. But above all, open yourself up to newness in this moment. Newness in this moment. So let's go look for a word or two. We'll go into the crosswords oracle, and we'll see what we can get here. So with the same as this, let me just give it a little bit of a shuffle. These cards are wearing out. I probably should laminate them so they last longer. All right, I want to shuffle, Emerald, and you can tell me when to stop shuffling, and we will get you some more word and directions that may come out of this moment. Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee. Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for us sinners. Okay. The number is 34. So if we just take the number 34, we take the 3 and the 4. Let's pull this thing out here. We're looking at the number 34. And so we're looking at 3 and the number 4. So with that, you're looking at the expression and creative expressions, expressing yourself. expressing self and a foundations. So working on your foundations, Emerald. Build your house up. The house of your soul. The house of your body. Your temple. The temple of your creativity. So you have your boundaries, you have your partner who is pushing against you with every single idea that you come, but at the same time, you are building your foundations by being open to the moment, to whatever the moment has for you. The sun, the wind, the rain, the snow, all the seasons, pounding on your beautiful petals, the beauty of you, this daisy, this flower right here. When the world may seem dark all around you, you need to be open. You're called to be open to whatever comes your way. That's about building your foundations, and it's about building yourself, expressing yourself. And this being your heart hanging out there, tied up in a cage, to release those bonds, those binds, those things that bind you, releasing those binds, because you have a lot to give. You have a lot to give others. And maybe in this sense, it's calling you to give more to your partner. You've been married for 10 years, and so maybe you just don't feel like giving more to your partner, but then you do because you made a commitment, you are, and so forth, and being open to new realities. And so let's just take a look here. You're working on your foundations, working on your creative expressions. And so the first word that popped out was optic. And so seeing what is in front of you, opening your eyes and seeing what is in front of you, and your spirit. And opposite. So your opposite spirit, seeing your opposite spirit right in front of you. Working on your spirit relationships with your family, with your friends, with those who infuriate you because they are opposite of you. And rise to this moment. And we have the number 5 in here, the number 5. This is a challenge to you. A challenge. And the challenge is to meet this moment with a strong spirit and your eyes open. I hope that helps you. Does that make sense at all, Emerald? So we're looking at the words that I have on here. The number 34, you can actually look that up. Look up 34 to see what this means for you. We have rise, spirit, open optic or eyes, and opposite. Opposite. And the number 5 as challenge. challenge. And together, 3 plus 4 together equals to 7. And 7, that spiritual number of taking time for yourself, making sure that you take time for your spirit, for yourself to rise in your spirit, to keep your eyes open to what, keep your eyes open into the moment, and to spend time in contemplation or meditation. I know that in our daily life we don't have much time, but maybe, when you wash dishes or you're doing some simple mindless tasks, that you spend that time in silence, creating silence for yourself. Spend that time listening with your eyes open. Okay, Emerald. So you really... Okay, thank you. Thank you for letting me read for you. Thank you for letting me read for you, Emerald. I hope that these words and everything here has make some kind of a sense. And so we have Jane. Jane, are you still there? Jane? Okay, Janie is still there, and she's looking for her general reading. We are looking at 1192026. 4, 5, 30. Look, the number of the day has been 3. Even in my own cards that I drew yesterday about this 3, about this self-expression, Emerald had the number 3 in it. Richard had it. Jane has it. The whole spirit of today is about self-expression and creativity and being a creative person in this moment. And was that a general reading for you too, Jane? General? Okay. Let us clear the air. Mother Mary, Jane has a question. Mother Mary, Jane wants to know about right now. What about right now that is Jane not seeing? Mother Mary, help us to uncover what it is that Jane needs to see about right now. Okay, we're going to do this oracle, Jane. And I'm just going to explain it to you. This is about where are you at right now. And so, Jane, this is you. So, Jane, this is you. This is you. You are this person. Well, yeah. I have these clothes and I need to wear them. Otherwise, they just hang in the closet and they gather dust. This is my tarot oracle reading jacket. But Jane, this is you. This is you. And this is you right now. This is who you are. And you're on a journey here, Jane. You're on a journey between the magician and the world. And in this face, Jane, and in this space, Jane, you have this rose in your hand. This is the purity of your spirit, the purity of your intentions, and you are bathed by that unseen light that nourishes your being, your very being. This is you. This is you right now. And beside you is this dog. And this dog is a faithful companion that is with you all along your journey. This dog is like your guardian angel. And in this life, this was you, and you stepped off this cliff, Jane. And now you are in free fall. And so in this journey here, I am going to mix these cards up. And we're going to see where you're at, Jane. We're just going to mix and match and just mix them around upside down. And we're going to give it a little shuffle. And we're going to see where you're at. Mixing things around and see where you're at in this journey. This is going to give you the information that you need to know. We're going to see where you were, and where you are going. And this is the purpose of this oracle. So I'm going to be mixing it up. And soon, Jane, I'm going to start shuffling. I haven't got there yet, but we're just mixing the cards upside down, right side up. That way we get an accurate reading of this moment. And so I'm going to take these things, I'm going to toss them down here like this. We're going to mix things up and mix them around. We're going to find out where you're at, Jane. And let's go, while we're here, let's just sort of twist and turn. Do some more twisting and turning. Do you want me to twist and turn? You can tell me when to stop twisting and turning. I want you to tell me when to stop twisting and turning and doing stuff like that, and then I'll reform the deck together. Reform it together. Okay, stop. Okay. All right. All right. I'm going to put it together and put it together. Okay. I need to put this over here because you remember you matter. You matter. Let's put that over here. Okay. Okay, we'll just do a little shuffle, put it together, and I want you to tell me when to stop mixing this other way. When do I stop mixing it this way and shuffling? Okay, here we go. So we're going to go in here and we're going to look and see where you're at. And here you are. You have the tower behind you, in the sense that the tower in this upside down world, your world turned upside down in a bunch of confusion and the confusion of your world upside down, topsy-turvy. And that maybe you have slammed into a wall. You do have to forgive me because I don't have the card to memorize, because that's why I use that. Why I use it. And so some of the spirits that exist within the realm of the tower in reverse is that of being an overreactor, being over dramatic, being when issues arise in your life, being over zealous, overreacting, and it's like the sky is falling. You're like little Chicken Little running around, and the sky is falling. And so what you got in front of you now is the High Priestess. And so in this, you are kind of grounded in that you are your intuitive self, coming from being dramatic, but needing to balance yourself out with your interior word, that interior word within you, the Torah, the law. It's this spirit here. And what this spirit also means in being the law, it is about that God consciousness within you. That's that, and so it's being aware that there is this God consciousness within you, and it is like it's in this scroll. You can look at it now. Does it have actual words in it? Maybe, but it may be beyond words, because those words mean something on the page, and those words are channels into a different reality. So things have been hard. You've been going from hard, but so in order to get through that hardness of your life, it's about accessing this law which was written on your heart. It's that God consciousness, the masculine, the feminine, because in the number 2, both of those things are present. The divine masculine, the divine feminine. And this is in being seated strongly in this place of intuition, the moon, the sun, all these forces of nature here for you. And when you look at the words on the page. You use your imagination to connect up to the feeling that exists beyond them. Quiet these voices of drama, of chaos, of a world turned upside down, a world on fire, a world that seems impossible to get out of. But you have all the tools in order to do this. You have your trusty dog, this companion that follows you wherever you go, and you have this pure intentions of your soul and all the tools you need to complete this journey, and you are being bathed in light, the light that nourishes your soul. And so you need to trust in that promise. Trust in that promise that you can do this. You can do this. You can do this. In our numbers here, we have our stop touching the mic, Bill. Our 7. But this is 7 and 2. The 7 in the reverse form is that you really need to take time for silence in your life. To silence those voices. And you need to take time to connect up to your divine feminine. Connect up to your DF, the divine feminine in your life. Whether that be a goddess, whether that be like Mother Mary, whether that be an ancestor, whether that be the Holy Spirit, because in a Gnostic sense, the Holy Spirit, Sophia, is the divine feminine. The divine feminine. If we are, because why we are being heretics, Christian heretics, we're calling things as they were called at one time. The Holy Spirit, Sophia, the divine feminine. Connect to your divine feminine, whatever that spirit means to you. Silence. But the 7 in reverse shows that you're not able to connect into that silence. You need time for yourself. Yes, that is true. And so, but as I said before, sometimes it is so hard to take that time. One of the things I've done for myself this year is I'm trying to read more books. This is hard because, the social media, it is so distracting. It is so easy to just scroll. and you think it's relaxing, but it's not relaxing. Because how many of those pimple popping videos can you watch on TikTok for 15 seconds a pop that never seem to go anywhere? And instead of feeling relaxed, you feel drained and emptied out inside. So silence those apps on your mobile devices that give you nothing but emptiness. Take a walk. Maybe pick up a book and start reading books. It's hard. It's very hard because we all have become attention deficit by our mobile devices, by the internet, by the quick access to information. But take time for silence. Take time to be yourself. To be yourself, to connect to you, to connect to your inner feminine spirit, that divine spirit within you. And so while we're at it, let's just see if there's just a few words here, and then we'll have to wrap this reading session up for the day. Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee. Blessed are you among women, and blessed. Yep, that's what came out. Look at this. 2772. 2772. So if we were going to go look for angel numbers, 2772. So look this up for yourself. Look this up for yourself. You can use the Google, use whatever definition comes in mind. Or maybe we'll just go in and we'll look it up now. We'll come here to, because if you look here, I have TikTok. I have silenced this app here because I have this app is so super addictive, and it's very addictive to me. And I keep it silenced. And we are going to go look over here for 2772 angel numbers. So the AI says angel number 2772 signifies messages of faith, balance, harmony, and spiritual growth, urging you to trust divine guidance. I don't know how we can trust a computer. The AI, I don't know, but we all using the AI now. We're becoming slaves of it. Okay. Trust divine guidance, nurture your relationships with open communication, embrace positive changes, and maintain optimism as you manifest your goals, often appearing during times of partnership or personal development. So you're talking about duality, partnership, faith, and diplomacy, spiritual awakening, intention, intuition, and good fortune. Okay, so that's just in looking there, that's what we're looking at. All right. So 2772, 27, balance, spiritual enlightenment, silence, taking time silence for yourself. And 2772 together, 9, 9 plus 9 is 18. It's the energy of 9, of completion. Okay? And some words. You can take a look at these. Maybe some of these will jump out at you. So what we see here, we have Torah, we have the law on your heart. We have another thing. 2 plus 2 is 4. Square, the foundations of your life. You have the sun or the coin, which is the body, the moon, which is your intuition and spirit, aligning your body and your spirit together. And try not to be tied up in knots. The key is to not be tied up in knots. Don't assume anything. Don't assume anything. Be open to what people have to tell you. If it sounds like bullshit, call it bullshit. If it sounds like truth, listen. And be aware of who your tribe is. Your tribe, your friendship group, your family, those people who give you support. Let them know that you love them, and don't take them for granted. Okay? So some of the words here: law, knot, as in being tied up in knots, assume, don't assume anything, tribe, and square, your foundations, and then also aligning your intuition and your physicality together. All right. And I'll write these words down so that the ones that popped out at me, we have square, and that one alludes to 2 plus 2, 4 foundations. Square, S-Q-U-A-R-E, and you're looking at a foundation, building your foundation. And so if you look at this card, this building in its upside down form, well, the foundations and everything have been blown apart, and they're just drifting off in the wind, in the storm. Even the crown and everything is just blown apart. It's like as though you do not have a foundation. That which you call your, and then we have foundation, square, we have tribe. This is your family, your friends. It's your support. Your support. The support for your foundation is one of the things that supports your foundation. And then we have the law, which is Torah. This is on your heart. This is the God consciousness within you. The God consciousness within you. And then you want the things not to be aware of is the knots. That's being tied up. Untie your knots. Untie your knots. And don't assume. And then we also have this of don't make assumptions. Don't make assumptions. 7 and 7 is 5. So the numbers that we have in this 2772 is 4 and 5. 4 plus 5 is 9. 5. So it's in this we're looking at a change, being challenged in order to find new freedom in your life. Okay? I hope that this helps. I am going to try to come on more than once a week. I've been on twice so far this week. Maybe on Wednesday. I know on tomorrow I have a eye appointment, so I'm not going to come on tomorrow afternoon. I am going to do a 999 show. I have a show that I'm starting to script out. But maybe for all of us here, let's just pull a Mother Mary card for all of us. All of us that are still present here in this moment. A message of hope. And let's see, where's that rubber band here? And so just hang on for a few more minutes, and we'll get that last card, and then I will be off to making dinner. I think I'm making either having soup or making tacos. I can do either or. I don't have taco shells. But let's do this. Sarah, are you still here? Pumpkin and... Okay, Sarah, I want you... Let's just clear the air first, and then, Sarah, I want you to make the next decision here. This is for all of us. A message from Mother Mary. Let's bring our mind to this moment and clear the air of all of our questions. Mother Mary, a message for us. So you can tell me when to stop shuffling, Sarah? Sarah will be... Okay, right there. It is Our Lady of Holy Fire. Wasn't that one of the images that came in when I asked you for a reading this afternoon about what happens next? Wasn't fire one of the spirits? So external sources of love and support may fail us. The soul processes such loss by developing compassion for our humanity while seeking the unconditional support of Spirit. You will transition from grief to gratitude even if you are in shock, in denial, or feel betrayed, heartbroken. With Mother Mary's support, your soul is powerful enough to process any betrayal and only grow in love, strength, wisdom, and compassion. Our Lady of Holy Fire. And this is the image. Haven't pulled this one yet before. So that's the image, Our Lady of Holy Fire. That holy fire, that Holy Spirit that is with us. That perpetual Virgin, the Mother Mary. The Holy Spirit. That fire of Pentecost, that fire that burns. That heart on fire. The heart on fire. Interesting. Well, that is what we got for all of us. For me, for you, for Sarah, for Jane, for Emerald, for Richard. So, We have the gods from outer space. On my next 999 show, I will be talking about the rapture, the gods from outer space, and something else. And something else. Because Eric von Däniken passed away on January 10th, a week ago Saturday. Eric von Däniken was one of those influential voices in my life. He wrote Chariots of the Gods. And the book Chariots of the Gods was published on the year I was born, too. And I couldn't find my hard copy of Chariots of the Gods. I looked through every single book that I own, and I couldn't find it, but I did find other books. I found my standalone copy of the Gospel of Thomas. I found a copy of the Bhagavad Gita. The Bhagavad Gita was another book that transformed my life. I ran across that when I took a comparative religion class in college. The Gospel of Thomas has been a transformative text in my life. Studying other religions, the power of myth, the books I have on Joseph Campbell. Joseph Campbell was another voice that transformed my life. To be able to take a look at the mythologies and everything that came from beyond, from the past, and try to unpack those words, try to figure out what those words, those images mean for us. But Eric von Däniken, who brought into human consciousness the ancient alien theory. Ancient alien theory. And it was a idea that many, many, many people were thirsty for. It is important to look at our life from different points of view. Because one of the things that is completely absent from Christian tradition, because most of us, we came out of the Christian tradition in one form or another. If you were Hindu, you would get the trickster god. If you were an indigenous American, if you were of an indigenous religion of one kind or another, you would get the trickster god. But Christianity does not have a trickster god in it. It does not have that spirit. And I believe that it needs to have that spirit. The ancient Hebrew religion had the trickster god in it. The trickster god in the ancient Hebrew religion was called Satan. In the book of Job, there is this pantheon of gods, this collection of gods, of angels and other spirits, and they're sitting around and they're talking about Job and what to do about Job, and Satan comes forth with a challenge to see if Job will still remain faithful to this God, the God of his tribe. And so God agrees with Satan that these challenges need to be placed before Job and to see how Job meets those challenges. And he meets every one of them, and in the end, he still remains faithful. But what we're looking at that's the story. But the function of that character Satan in that mythological view may have been that of a trickster god. And a trickster god is a spirit that is necessary to be there to call out our bullshit. Because each of us can get high and mighty with our own bullshit, our own illusions. Maybe in the tarot, that trickster character is in that death card. And you pull that death card, and then it's telling you you need to put to rest all of your bullshit. Then another way that the trickster emerges itself is through the moon card. And coming out of the moon, bubbling out of your subconscious, could be a lot of negative programs, a lot of things, your own BS that need to address those things of the bullshit, because we all have bullshit in our life, and that bullshit is stuff that we need to get rid of. And we all are high and mighty and full of ourselves at times. The function of that trickster is to show us that there is nothing special about us either. So, Mary Magdalene and my Spirit of Mary, show us what it is that we need to get rid of in our lives, what no longer serves us. I think that that's what that death card meant when I pulled it for me yesterday. You know what I like about these images is that you can look into those eyes, and it's like the image just comes alive. And as that Dan McClellan said, when you are looking at scriptures, that those words on the page is a material media, and you use the material media that could be an image, it could be a statue, it could be words on the page to unlock mystery that exists beyond those words, the gnosis, and have a relationship to that knowledge which is not the word, it is not a concept, but it is something more. That's what I like about looking people in their eyes. And sometimes, and most of the times, that knowledge that is gained, that gnosis that is gained, is undescribable. It just is pure experience. Let me just lift this up for you guys, so you too can look into these eyes, into the eyes of Mary, Mother Mary, on fire for you. Thank you. Thank you, Jane. All right. Let's take one more moment in the peace, in the quiet, and look into those eyes. All right, friends. Thank you for being here with me. That is Our Lady of Holy Fire. And didn't somebody also get this number 7? Yeah, the number 7. That's also a number that came up a lot today. That vision comes from within. The number 7, a message from Mary Magdalene. Vision comes from within. All right. Thank you very much. And I will be back with you for another reading, another day. And these are the decks we use today. This one, this one, this one, this one, and this one, who Tarot asked backwards, gave this to me for my Christmas, my birthday, almost a year ago. All right. Blessings and peace to you, and thank you, thank you, thank you for your support. And we'll see you the next time. Bye-bye.